Hi everyone, I'm Steven.
I'm Minnie.
Today's date is June 21st, and we're on pages 44 to 47 for the next 2 days with Good Eats.
那我们6月21号呢，我们在44到47页，我们要讲的是美食飨宴哦。
The title today is Twist and Shout. Why, you know why I say that? Because it's a song.
Oh,
you know
really?
that? Yeah.
I didn't know this
it's
song.
like a 60s or 70s old song. Twist and shout.
Who's
Twist
the
and shout. I don't know who it's by. It's a pretty popular
And so this
title.
is the name of the
But that's
song?
why I think whoever writes the articles is super creative.
Yeah.
They always take puns or they take like words to like kind of refer to something in the past. So twist and shout. Okay, so today's article really doesn't have to do with shouting, but it does have to do with a twist. Twist in Chinese is
就是旋转扭曲的意思呀。那 twist and shout 我们这边中文翻译是诞生于幸福的意外。那我们要讲的是 twist， 就是这个蝴蝶饼嘛。
The pretzel is a delicious snack with a long history.
Oh yeah， 所以这个蝴蝶饼呢是一款历史悠久的美味点心。
Let's get started. Pretzels have been a common food item in Europe for more than 1,000 years.
所以 pretzel 这个蝴蝶饼呢，在欧洲已经相当普遍，这个食品已经相当普遍，超过1000年了。
So when something is common, that means that you see it very regularly, or you hear it, or you just come in contact with it very often. Okay.
所以 common 就是一个很 normal、很常见、很普遍、很不特别，就叫 common。
Yes. And then we use the word item here because sometimes for food, since food is something that's very general, like we just use it as like a measure word, okay? An item of food or a food item.
所以 item 在这边其实有点像是老师刚刚讲 measure word， 就是有点像量词这样，一项食品
对
的那个项。
Yeah, 比如说像 like 一支笔 or like 一罐饮料, like there's that's the measure word.
一个人
Yeah. In Chinese, there's so many different words, measure words.
Yeah.
But in English, we don't have to worry about that as much. Okay? They are most often associated with Germany, where their images still serves as the emblem of the Baker's Guild.
那他们与德国有紧密的关联，这边讲的当然就是 pretzel 这个它。那在那里呢，这个外观仍然作为烘焙师工会的一个象征的符号。
So what does it mean that we say it's often associated with Germany? When we associate something with something, that means that like when you see this thing, you automatically think of this other thing. So when you see the pretzel, you often automatically think of Germany.
所以associate 这个字其实蛮重要的，它是关联的意思。所以当你看到 A， 你会想到 B，那 A 跟 B 它就会用 A is associated with B 这样子的用法。
Whenever I see a pretty flower, I associate it with Minnie 老师。Okay, 我一看到美丽的花，我就联想到 Minnie 老师。
不要啦，不要啦。
是这样用法 associate something with something.
Yeah， 那它的名词形式 association 也非常常见。
Yes, association is like a 协会。
Yeah，
right?
协会、工会、一个联合会都可以用 association。
That's right. So when you see the image of the pretzel, it still serves as, or it still is, like it still has this like this usage of being something. 就是它有这个用途用法 okay, as the emblem of the Baker's Guild. So the Baker's Guild, a guild is an association, which is what we just talked about, an association of craftsmen, people that make things with their hands. So bakers, they make bread with their hand, right? So I guess there is an association called the Baker's Guild, and they have an emblem, which is like a picture or image that has like it serves as something that when you see it, you know that it's about this guild or this association.
我很喜欢 emblem 这个字。
Yeah, it's very, it has like a very medieval kind of feel. I think it is from medieval times, and that culture comes to even now.
像之前罗马的文字啊，什么它有个符号啊、象征啊，我们就会用 emblem 这个字。然后 Guild 这个 guild 其实讲的就是工会，就是我们刚刚讲的 association。
So Baker's Guild is the name of the association. So that's why Baker and Guild are capitalized. Okay. There is very little recorded history from the time when pretzels first appeared around 600 CE.
那英文来讲的话，我们的时间地点丢后面，但是中文来讲我们会先讲，所以翻译的话会说，打从西元600年左右，蝴蝶饼首次出现以来，就鲜有他们的历史记载。
So what do we mean by little recorded history? That means that maybe this thing was created in the past, but not many people like wrote about it. Okay, so it's not recorded. So not much is known about the pretzel's history, but there has been some people that recorded it or put it in books so that people nowadays can still look back and find out more information. But there's not that much information. And by CE, when you spell it out, it's common era. Common era. And a lot of times you might see BC, before Christ. So if it is a country that is mostly Christian, that believe in Jesus Christ, that's when you use BC, okay? But because we're talking about countries that aren't Christian, they could be Jewish or Asian countries, then we use CE because we don't go by when Christ died to make this time, okay? Yeah, because in America, when I saw time, I would usually see BC. 600 BC or 600 AD. Okay, but this is my first time seeing CE, and I realized, oh, I guess that was a very like American thing because most Americans are Christian or Catholic. Okay. However, it is generally agreed that they were probably invented by monks and perhaps given to children as treats.
所以这边 however 转成语气，虽然说很少记载，但是也有一些人普遍认为他们是从这个 monk， 也就是僧侣他们所发明的。那也许是作为送给小朋友的点心。
Right, so it is agreed that 这就是说被同意是 but not everybody agrees. So it's generally agreed. 大多数 most people agree that it was probably invented or created or made by monks, which I didn't know. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
A monk is somebody who is a religious person who usually devotes their life to religion. They might even live in a monastery or with other monks. So that is what a monk is. And they gave these pretzels to children as treats. What is a treat? It is like a reward for someone to like kind of give them like kind of like a positive kind of reinforcement. Oh, you did something good. Here is a treat. Or when a dog behaves, you'll give it a treat.
Good dog.
Yeah, good dog. So that's what a treat is.
Yeah, so treat could also mean like snack, right?
That's right.
Not snack.
Snack is just something that you eat
点心
in between big meals, right? But a treat is like a snack that makes you happy because you did something right to get that treat.
So treat 比较是有奖励的作用 ，snack 就是只是普遍的啊，我嘴馋，我吃一下。
Exactly. Okay. The folded arms of the pretzel might represent a person praying.
Oh, wow.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, 所以蝴蝶饼它有一个那个交叉嘛，所以他说蝴蝶饼的交叉的双臂，可能就代表说有人正在祷告祈祷。
Right, so folded 本身这个形容词就是折的 okay? And it might represent or symbolize, symbolize, 象征 a person praying, 一个在祷告的人。
Yeah, okay? That's very beautiful.
It is. Let's take a short break. Another origin story suggests that the signature brown skin of the pretzel was invented by accident in the 19th century.
那另外一个起源故事就是他的主张是说，蝴蝶饼的招牌棕色外皮是在19世纪偶然发现的。
So we see the verb suggest here. Okay, that means that we don't know for sure. Okay, it just suggests. Okay, causes one to think that the signature brown skin, what does signature mean? That means it's something that makes it very distinct, makes it very special. That's what everybody thinks of when they think pretzel is the signature brown skin, 它的招牌的这个 brown skin. And what is the origin story? That means like how, 起源故事 how it became, how it started. Okay, so the brown skin of the pretzel was invented by accident. Okay, you can also say on accident. You can also use this preposition as well. So it was invented on accident in the 19th century.
那我们这边 signature 这个招牌其实也有点像我们另外一个字叫 feature。
Okay.
Right，所以它的 feature 或者是 signature 就是它的招牌、它的代表作、它的特性、它的特征都可以这样子使用。那我们刚刚有讲偶然这个字，很美的偶然，可以用 by accident or on accident。
A baker in Munich intended to brush his creations with sugar water, but the brush was stained with a cleaning solution of sodium hydroxide.
所以一位慕尼黑的这个面包师打算用糖水刷在他的作品上面，但刷子却沾上了所谓的氢氧化钠这种清洁溶剂。
So intend to do something, that means that you want to do something. That's what your heart wants to do. Okay, so I intend to do well on my test, but I might not do well. So my heart wants to do well. My heart wants to pass the test, but in reality, something might happen, like maybe I'll get test questions that I never saw before, or maybe I didn't study enough that I might not be able to really pass the test, but at least I had the intention. 这个 intention 就是它的名词的部分。Okay, so intend to do something.
So intend 是比较像是你自己内心原本预定要做的事情，你打算要做，你计划要做，这就是你 intend to do something. 那你的意图，你想做的这个想法，就是你的 intention.
对 And here we see that it says he intended to brush his creations. Why are we using the word creations instead of pretzels in the sentence? The only reason why is because we just don't want to keep using the same word over and over again. So sometimes to make your writing or your speaking even better is to use different words to replace words that you're using over and over again just to make it more interesting. So these pretzels are his creations. They're things that he created. Okay, 是他做出来的作品。
所以 creation 这个字，其实我们很明显的知道，我们今天就是在讲 pretzel， 所以它指的就是蝴蝶饼。但我们要去强调一个写作或说话的时候，强调一个多变性，所以我们会选择用不一样的字来做一个代替，这样让读者读起来也比较有趣。
Right, and Munich, this name of the city, even though it ends with CH, we pronounce it like a hard C sound. Munich. Okay. And then it says, but the brush was stained with a cleaning solution. So when something is stained, that means that it's not pure. Okay, it's dirty in some way, or maybe that it has something that is not supposed to be there. It's unintended. 又用这个 intended 这个字 intended 就是有意愿的 unintended 是
无意的
无意的 So stained with a cleaning solution. Solution is usually a liquid mix of different things put together. Okay?
所以 solution 比较像是那种混合液或者是清洁液 solution。那我们刚刚有讲到这个 stain 这个字，它这边当动词使用哦，是被沾染的意思。但 stain 其实也可以当做是名词，就代表污渍。像你如果喝红酒
You have a stain on your shirt.
Yeah, 就是那个 stain。
没错。And then here, solutions, most people see that when they're looking at math, right? So what is the solution to the problem? Okay, 这个
解决方法。
But here we see cleaning solutions, so we know it's not talking about math. We're talking about like a liquid, okay?
Yeah.
He didn't want to waste the pretzels, so he baked them anyway and found that they had a unique flavor and texture.
OK， 所以他不想要浪费这一批已经被沾染了这个氢氧化钠的蝴蝶饼，所以他还是把它送进了烤箱，然后就发现，哎，他们拥有独特的一个风味跟口感。
So we see, so he baked them anyway. Why are we putting the word anyway there? It's because, you know, like, it's just a way of emphasizing that even though he knows it might not be right,
Anyway,
he does it anyway.
Yeah.
还是这样做吧，
还是仍然这样做。
仍然做。So he baked them anyway and found that they had a unique flavor. Oh, there is a unique. Why is it not an unique? Because often we are taught that when a word starts with A-E-I-O-U, a vowel, it should be an unique, right? But here is another rule to look out for. Even though U is a vowel, the way that we pronounce this word, it sounds like it starts with a Y. Okay, a unique. Okay, so we also pay attention to how this word is pronounced to choose whether it's a or an. Okay, in this situation, even though it starts with a vowel, it's pronounced unique.A unique flavor and texture. So flavor is how it tastes. Texture is how it feels in our mouth.
这个很重要哦。这 unique 这个 u 我们常会被骗。ALU 我们简单的教学都说看到 ALU 前面要用 an， 但是其实我们忽略的是它的读音也非常重要。所以就像另外一个很典型的是1个小时 an hour， 它虽然 start with h，但是因为它念 ow 的声音，所以我们还是必须要讲 an hour， 所以读音还是非常的重要。
我跟你说，很多人会觉得这样子好难学英文哦。但是就每一个语言都会有这些很小小的一些原则、一些例外。比如说破音字在中文也是很对于很多在学中文
对他们来讲也很难，
也很难啊。所以就是不要花太多时间，觉得太难了，太难了，太难了，好难好难，就是要背。
对，然后这些小东西是让你的英文跟别人不一样的小关键。
没错，一些小细节。你一学完之后，它就是你的，就那么简单。So try not to focus on how difficult it is, and you'll learn it a lot faster.
然后后面 flavor 跟 texture 这两个字要分清楚，一个是你的味觉，一个是你的触觉，很重要哦。
All right, let's take a short break. The smaller, harder variety was invented in Pennsylvania.
所以宾州呢，它则是创出了那种比较小，然后口感比较硬的 pretzel 蝴蝶饼。
Right. So here we're comparing two types of pretzels. So that's why we're using the adjectives with the ER, smaller, harder. And because it's two different adjectives, we have to separate it with a comma. Okay, and also we see the word variety. Variety is often a way that we say there's like a lot of different types, right? And this situation is being replaced by the word, it's replacing the word type or kind. So the smaller, harder kind of pretzel was invented in Pennsylvania. It's just choosing the word variety instead of kind or type.
所以我们在这边我们比较了宾州的 pretzel 跟别的地方的 pretzel， 所以我们才会用这个比较级，更小的、更硬的 variety 就是它的选项，它的种类。
So I don't know if everyone knows exactly what it's talking about. The pretzels that we were talking about before were the ones that you buy in bread stores that are softer, they're freshly baked, right? Right now we're talking about the ones that you can buy in supermarkets that are put in bags like chips. 像那个叫什么薯
洋芋片。
洋芋片 Okay, so chips 是洋芋片. So the smaller and harder kind of pretzel is the ones that you can buy that are like chips.
Yeah.
Okay. A baker's apprentice left the pretzels in the oven a bit too long, but this also proved to be a happy accident.
所以呢，有一个烘焙面包的学徒 apprentice 把这个蝴蝶饼，也就是我们刚刚讲那个面包的那一种类型的蝴蝶饼，放在烤箱里的时间过长，然后结果呢也显示这是一个幸福的意外，因为才有我们现在可能 Costco 可以买到那种像饼干脆脆的那一种蝴蝶饼。
So what is an apprentice? An apprentice is someone who is learning under a master. Okay, learning under someone who is very skilled at something. So this apprentice is trying to learn how to bake better. Okay, so even though it has a T-I-C-E ending, it's pronounced like an S. Apprentice. He left the pretzels in the oven a bit too long. So he put it in the oven. He didn't take it out quick enough. So it was in the oven. It was left there too long, and this proved to be a happy accident. When we say that something proves to be something, we're trying to say that, like in the end, it shows evidence that this was a happy accident. And what is a happy accident? It's when you do something on accident, but it comes out with a good result. You didn't mean to have this good result, but it's a good one. Like, for instance, the person who painted the pretzels with sugar water, and then, you know, he didn't know that there was sodium hydroxide on the brush, but when it came out, it was a happy accident because the pretzel came out to be even better than the original. Okay, so this is what a happy accident is. And because later on, these pretzels sold very well, so we have proof that this was a happy accident. That's why we can say prove to be a happy accident.
老师刚刚讲第一个字是这个学徒 apprentice， 老师说跟 master 学习，这个 master 指的不是主人哦，指的是师傅，是你的老师，一个比你还要手工艺可能更成熟的人。以前在教育还不普及的时候，大部分的工作都是学徒制。 那这个 apprentice 就是学徒。然后再来的话，我们会有看到 proven to be a happy accident。我们先看 accident， 它其实是意外的意思。通常讲到 accident， 感觉都是不好的事情，所以我们才会用 happy 来当做强调一个开心、幸福、快乐的意外。因为像刚刚我们的那个 pretzel 的颜色啊 ，pretzel 的口感啊，这些都是意外造成的嘛。但是它的结果是大卖，大家很喜欢，所以我们叫做 happy accident。再来的话 ，proven 这个字其实它有证明的意思，但在这边我们其实想要讲的是显示，其实也是证明啦，就是代表说它当作是一个举例例证，有一个证据说明说它是一个很好的意外。
The crunchy pretzels were still very tasty, and they stayed fresh much longer than the original softer variety.
Crunchy 这个字很棒哦，就是对，就是很多那个 ASMR 还是对，他们很喜欢用那个脆脆那种咬的声音，所以这个 crunchy pretzel 外观酥脆的这个 pretzel 蝴蝶饼依旧是相当好吃，而且它们呢比原始的软的那种蝴蝶饼保鲜的时间可以更长。
Right, and also tasty is a different way to say delicious. And then in the end, we see original, softer variety. Okay, so this is just two different adjectives put together again. So that's why they're separated by a comma. Okay, all right, so we'll go right into the review. All right, Minnie 老师, what does it mean when we associate A with B?
那就是我们把 A 跟 B 关联在一起。
Okay, and what is an emblem?
就是代表符号象征。
And a guild?
就是工会，像 association.
Okay, when we say something is folded, what do we mean?
折在一起。
Okay, and what is something that is a signature of a product?
就代表一个产品的招牌或者是它的关键。
Okay, if something is stained, what do we mean?
那就代表东西已经不纯了，它被沾染到了。
Okay. What are the two meanings of solution?
Solution 第一个是有点像是混合物清洁液，第二个呢是我们常常用的 solution 解决方法。
And the difference between flavor and texture?
Flavor 是你嘴巴里面尝到的味道 ，texture 是你触觉摸到的质感。
Okay, and who is an apprentice?
就是学徒。
And when I say something proves to be something, what do I mean by that?
就代表说被显示、被证实说它怎么样。
Okay, and something that is crunchy?
很酥脆。
And last, what is a happy accident?
就代表是一个意外，但它是一个美丽的意外。
That's right. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We'll continue with the same topic tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
第44页，美食飨宴，诞生于意外的幸福，蝴蝶饼。
Twist and shout. Pretzels have been a common food item in Europe for more than 1,000 years. They are most often associated with Germany, where their image still serves as the emblem of the Bakers' Guild. There is very little recorded history from the time when pretzels first appeared around 600 CE. However, it is generally agreed that they were probably invented by monks and perhaps given to children as treats. The folded arms of the pretzel might represent a person praying. Another origin story suggests that the signature brown skin of the pretzel was invented by accident in the 19th century. A baker in Munich intended to brush his creations with sugar water, but the brush was stained with a cleaning solution of sodium hydroxide. He didn't want to waste the pretzels, so he baked them anyway and found that they had a unique flavor and texture. The smaller, harder variety was invented in Pennsylvania. A baker's apprentice left the pretzels in the oven a bit too long, but this also proved to be a happy accident. The crunchy pretzels were still very tasty, and they stayed fresh much longer than the original, softer variety.